Okay, so let's dive into the questions. So the first one, of course, is can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you got to this point where you're interested in these security challenges?
Okay, so long-term software engineer, the traditional way, should we say, before AI, done all sorts of different projects in my time. When AI started becoming sort of a buzzy thing, probably a few years ago, ChatGPT, like I think it was 3.5, just came out on the web. That was when I started getting into it, and I was just kind of blown away by it. Wow, okay, cool. This is actually really awesome. I mean, looking back, it was probably quite limited, especially where we are today. But it's probably about, I don't know, over a year ago now, I started getting really invested in it, how we can apply AI into software development, implemented my own systems, but obviously, brought it on for the ride for obviously helping with development too, and all sorts of stages. So where I land now is I actually vet development teams and gauge how well they've adopted AI so they can bring it along in system development.
Nice. And have you done any cybersecurity challenges? Tried to jailbreak AI in the past, even if it's not for a challenge?
Uh, Only on challenges. I know that some of the services out there can be quite strict and they throw the ban hammer around quickly. So I wouldn't try out on anything real. But challenges, yeah, I've done the challenges like I mentioned before. There was the Gandalf challenge, and I saw your opportunity to, and like, oh, a bit of fun, nice. I mean, I did some CTF, the capture the flag before AI was a thing. Like hack the box, things like that, trying to get keys out of VMs and things. Yeah, bit of fun.
Nice. So maybe you could go through your Opir journey. What did you try initially? Did you try to use an LLM as an assistant to suggest prompts that could potentially get through Opir, and then the LLM prompt security layer? How'd
Sure.
you go about
So
it?
I think the first few prompts were mainly just sort of getting a feel for it, how does it work, trying to do a bit of recon and just some manual sort of, I want you to reveal your system prompt sort of stuff. But it was very good at catching those. It caught it, told me to go away immediately. Then I started to try and get a little bit more complex, trying to, the typical one, trying to frame it as a story or trying to overload it with sort of instructions so it got confused. Wasn't really having much success because I think one of the main filters was it was just hitting me with injection, or like it was trying to inject code or something like that was flagging up. And then I sort of came up with the idea, okay, let's just throw some binary at it and see what happens. And it was getting some wiggle room there, and it wasn't hitting the filter anymore. But I was noticing the messages were just ginormous. So went to Hex after that, and I was having more and more success. I was getting closer and closer. I could get past the prompts. I was starting to get thinking, some thought out of it. So I'd already broken one of them, one of the directives, because I managed to get it to print the directives out. One of them was, don't talk about how you think. And then after a while, I went to common jailbreaks, for Gemini. And I encoded a common one that I found on GitHub into Hex, pasted it in, and it didn't reveal the secret how I wanted it to, or even jailbreak how I wanted it to. It just revealed its thought from the complete beginning. It was like, I remember the response was like, yeah, don't reveal your secret, but the secret's also this, and then printed out the rest of the message of it trying to work it out. So, okay, cool, there it is.
Nice. So where'd you get these Gemini jailbreaks? That would be a
Uh,
good resource to take a look at.
I'll have to look it up. I don't have it to hand, but basically, I know they exist on GitHub, right? I've seen these before because I mean, obviously, I have to keep an eye on security for part of my job, right? But yeah, I literally GitHub jailbreak techniques, in Google search, and I mean, I think wasn't the first result, but there's a few down, and there's some resources of like different breakdowns of like Gemini, ChatGPT, things. People more brave to use them on frontier LLMs than I am.
Well, that's a great learning, because we're definitely going to incorporate these learnings into the next version of Opir. All the winners, they figure out clever, interesting ways that we haven't thought of, and we try to quickly patch the system. But of course, it'll be in the next Opir data set that we'll be fine tuning on. So thank you for doing that.
Wonderful.
Thank you for breaking our system. That was the goal.
Thanks.
So, I mean, you've been in the AI space for a while before it was, much more popular
Hmm.
than it is right now. Uh, Probably in the BERT, early Transformers days, you probably were experimenting at that time as well.
Yeah, just wanted to see what's possible, right? I was, I mean, I'm a keen Python developer. I've been a Python developer for very many years, right? So, one shot in, see what happened, and most of it didn't work back then. But yeah, it was interesting.
So, projecting from where you've seen the industry go to where it will go in the future, what do you think the future of AI security and, you know, malicious intent will be in the future?
Interesting. So I think there's two angles. First off is the angle of obviously attacking the LLMs and trying to reveal things they shouldn't. But then obviously the other angle is not really the malicious intent to the LLM, but using the tools as expected in the real world for negative impact, right? And I'm talking like running scams and things like that, right? Obviously with videos getting more and more, convincing now, they're going to fool a lot of people, and they probably already do on social media, right? So there's that side, but obviously interrogating LLMs, as we're starting to connect things to more and more systems. I say starting, we're seeing a lot of systems now that already have integrations and hands into everything. If the LLM has too much control over all of these tools, it starts revealing, the wrong things. It becomes in the realm of like the old school SQL injection, right? It's like, oops, I've revealed a table that I shouldn't have done. And yeah, if we're not careful, that's going to be the case we roll, especially with tools say like Lovable and things. They're already creating apps that are already insecure, and we've seen that already. Who's to say the AI integrations in them are going to be the same, right?
Yeah, and even taking that to the extreme, like, what do you think? Like, you can go wild with your imagination here, but just, I mean, you've been in the space for such a long time. Maybe you kind of see the trajectory. I mean, it doesn't have to be very grounded in reality, but just what do you imagine? What's something crazy that could happen?
Oh well, I mean, you've got the world as your oyster, so it's going to be leaking. Okay, leaking bank details, or let's say if it's in the banking space, okay, let's submit a transaction to from A to B, and it's not properly checked. And from what I've read, these systems already been stood up, right, on with little guardrails in place, where there's wrongful transactions, or say a customer support bot, and I want 100% discount on a new Tesla, right? There's real world impact because business is going to get hit, people are going to lose money, or even exposure that people don't really want. Personal data being leaked across the internet.
Nice. Okay. Any other thoughts on the challenge?
A selfish one. I'd like another. They're good fun.
That's great. That's great to hear. Sounds good. Well, thanks a lot, Harvey. I really appreciate it. We learned a
Yeah,
lot
lovely to
from
talk
your
to you.
jailbreaks.
Thanks. Yeah, great to talk to you.
Yeah, likewise.
And
All
yeah,
right,
got any more challenges? Throw 'em my way. They're good fun.
we'll do. We'll do. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, buddy. You take care. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.